Right, so the 2024 NFL season's underway, and yeah, it has been quite a rollicking start. And we've had a couple of really, really good games in the prime time or early afternoon. I mean, Cardinals, Bills, and is one example. And yeah, Patriots getting the win over the Bengals, really, really unexpected, and yeah, and so certainly a lot of talking points. And yeah, at the same time, yeah, we seem to keep, a couple. We seem to keep putting a couple of scabs from seasons gone by, and I guess one, which in particular came up after yesterday's Thursday night football game between the Buffalo Bills and the Dolphins, which on paper should have been, would have been a really, could have been a really, really close battle. I wouldn't, not necessarily a good game, but I thought it was a great game. I mean, the Dolphins ultimately got absolutely hammered by the Bills in their own stadium. But you can't take that away from Josh Allen and the Bills, who were just absolutely outstanding. And I guess Tua had not one of his greatest games ever, which kind of is a nice segue to Tua, who we really, really need to talk about, because once again he has suffered a concussion that has taken him out of the game and is expected to take him out of the game for some time. Now it's the third in a row, and I guess when he had that second one a couple of seasons ago, everyone was asking him to retire, I think, and the calls have just come back. What I do want to say though is, look, I had sympathy in the past. No one should, I personally, no player. It's no one wants to see any player injured, whether it's on the team that you don't like. And as a Pats fan, I have my thoughts about the Dolphins. But no one wants to see a player, a professional whose dream is to play in the NFL, lying on the ground like that. And it's the same with any sport. No one, you don't want to see, you don't want to see Sam Kane, you don't want to see sanctity, you don't want to see, Ronaldo, all those, anyone down on the ground injured is just awful. And, it's just really, really sad. And to see Tua like this again is sad. It is sad. On the flip side, though, when you look at the replays of it, we really have to talk about it, because I think it does anger me a little bit that, with all the experience that he's had with head injuries, that he just hasn't, it's kind of feels like he's not learned anything from the past. So you'll see the photo there, and then you've seen it many times. I'm not going to replay it for copyright reasons, and it's something you don't really want to see again. But basically, it's fourth down, and it's a really, really, to be fair, it's a really, really well executed play by the Dolphins, and they convert on fourth down. Tua runs in, but look, I mean, they are taught to slide, rather than, but unfortunately, Tua goes in with his head, ironically hit on the tackler who. Eerily enough, is Damar Hamlin, a guy who died on the field for a couple of minutes in a couple of seasons ago in that Cincinnati Bengals Buffalo Bills game on Monday Night Football. So right into that, it feels like it's scripted. But look, in any case, Tua goes in with his head like a bull, and to be fair, the outcome is pretty predictable. He lies on the ground, he's ruled out of the game, and possibly next week his future is uncertain. Skylar Thompson's going to be starting for the Dolphins. And the first thought, and I'm going to keep this brief, look, when you're contact sport, whether it's rugby union, rugby league, AFL, football, you don't go in with your head like that. You're like a bull. Bulls have different anatomies compared to humans. Humans' necks are not designed to do that. And the fact that he's going in with his head, I don't know why, is just idiocy and lunacy. And unfortunately, it's a self-inflicted wound, and that's more I can say. And it's another concussion which really could have been avoided, particularly given his history and all that. And look, I think Tua won't retire. I think he is, if he didn't retire the first time, he's not going to retire this time. He is just too stubborn, and he wants to play on, which is a bit sad. I know it for his family and all that, but the lesson, look, this is one for the lesson for everyone. You've got to protect the head. I know in rugby union league, it's become a red card if you lean with your head. You've seen Sonny Bill Williams. You've seen Sam Kane in the Rugby World Cup final leaning with the head in the first instance ball carrier and all that is dangerous, and it needs to be outlawed. It is just not proper technique in contact sport, especially in this age where we know so much about concussions and CT, that sort of thing. We've already, in New Zealand in particular, you've got the story of Billy Guyton there, your Shane Christie's as well, talking about head injuries, and Carl Heyman. This is some, Tua's, we really need to talk about Tua, and this, it is a reminder that, I guess maybe they need harsher penalties on, players trying to lean into their head. I think it seems like the NFL is kind of a bit slack on that, and something needs to be done, because otherwise you are going to see, we need to start penalizing players for improper technique that's not really going to endanger themselves, but it's also going to endanger other players, like endanger Jamal Hamlin. And also, it hurts the families of those players more, particularly if they're disabled after that. You're thinking of Aaron Hernandez as well with CTE, and Ronnie Steele. So there needs to be more harsher penalties on like players with poor technique leaning their head and causing, such serious injuries. But what are your thoughts on Tua? Should he retire? What are your thoughts on the whole thing? And of course, if you like this video, feel free to like, and don't forget to subscribe.